Greetings, and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift on this brand spanking new night shift week. It started out quite interesting, this whole kickoff for the show tonight. I don't know what that image was doing up to start the show. That's not the start the show image. But hey, Paul infiltrate the whole thing, I don't know. Looks like he's really going to be taking over the show tonight. I want to say big ups, greetings and salutations to each and everyone locked in right now. Those tuning in on TuneIn Radio on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, rockthebox.net, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, on One Harmony Radio across the pond, BPR, also Big People Radio. Top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. Big ups to everybody, and of course those who have it locked on the one and only kevinstew.com. Yeah, for those of you new to the thing, kevinstew.com, you go there and you get everything. You get the chat room, you get the video, you get the site. Yeah, we just stepping it up like that. Want to say big ups to Marlon, the Real Rockers show host, reggae music edutainer extraordinaire. Let me tell you something. If you miss the Real Rockers show on a Monday and Wednesday, just before my show, you miss something. Big ups to you, Marlon. Big ups. Want to say hi to guest 284.
Time right now. It's the rhythm that I'm feeling to jump right now. Only we alone that I feel the feeling. Only we that show up and turn the fed upside down. We love the jumping up. Soca music come like a blessing. And one Tina, bumper rolling up effortlessly. We fetting anyhow, and you can cool we down. Carnival around and we pumping again. Pumping yo, something yo. The brain, you will never be the same. Carnival is his name. Every street and every lane. It's the soca and we make. Every fetting, pumping yo. Everything. So send the message. Every fetting, everything. Having a time, woman around, and it's love right now. It's a rhythm section and we ain't sleeping. It's a truck in front of the band and we rough right now. We tough right now. We love the jump.
Good evening, #happy.
Carnival, it come like a blessing. We don't give a what. On the stage I'm jumping with all of my friends. We fetting anyhow, and you can cool we down. Carnival around and we pumping again. Pumping yo, something yo. The brain, you will never be.
Guest 515, good evening.
This is we name. Every street and every lane. It's the soca and we make. Every fetting, pumping yo. Everything. So send the message. Every fetting, everything. Bad on the stage and me jumping with all of my friends. Hold your liquor inside your head and you don't lie down. Everything in place for the Juve morning. Give we soca till the police them say shut right down. Shut right down. Shut right down. Shut right down. Not right now. Not right now. Not right now. Not right now. We love the jumping up. Soca music come like a blessing. And one Tina, bumper rolling up effortlessly. We fetting anyhow, and you can cool we down. Carnival around and we pumping again. Pumping yo,
Turnsky
Something new.
and Travis World.
And you will never be the same. Carnival is we name.
It's called Heavy Fitting.
This is we time. This is we time. Pumping yo. This is we pumping yo. Pumping yo.
Yeah, we're pumping.
Pumping yo. This is we pumping yo.
And I want to take this opportunity to welcome back the big man himself. Took a little break. Much needed break, I'm sure. Albeit not necessarily intentional. But the big man himself is back this week and ready to go. Our legal advisor from the tropics, Kingston, Jamaica, Mr. Owen K. Ferguson, Esquire.
That's me.
See it there. I'm glad you know
Oh,
it's
you
you.
didn't care?
I'm glad you know it's you.
Good to hear you, man. Sorry for missing out last week. Wasn't on top of my game at all. Still not fully recovered, but we're toughing it out.
But listen, I am glad you are here though.
Okay,
Yeah, man. Glad that you're still on this side.
great.
Because last weekend I had my uncle's funeral,
Oh,
and this weekend I had two more funerals to attend. So I'm glad you're on this side.
yes, it's good to be on this side.
I was talking to you from the other side, that's a real long distance call. And I don't think we have that kind of technology yet. If we do, I don't have it. So what's going on with our island in the sun?
Oh, quite a bit as usual, Kevin. In the course of the past week, a number of interesting events have occurred. Much of it if you're keen on social media and that sort of pop culture scenario, then there's a lot happening there. We use the term passa passa. There's a little bit of that happening between certain public figures in Jamaica. But it's the usual politicking as well, going back and forth between our two main political parties. And on the crime scene, we're still having some heartbreaking news there, not as intense and frequent as in recent times, but we're not going to be happy until we're on top of that situation completely. So a lot happening in our country.
Right.
Yeah.
It's disheartening.
It can be if you're allowed to get to it, can be really exciting. So we try our best to keep it moving and do as much as you can to keep yourself and those around you safe and
Right.
just press ahead,
Right.
press ahead. All
Uh,
right, so
what do you have for us tonight?
this evening we want to talk about property, but it's an aspect of property that we don't talk about often enough, and that's intellectual property.
Right.
And exactly that, rights. Yeah. So this evening we want to talk about intellectual property, just to give the listeners a quick introduction to what intellectual property is all about and how to start the process here in Jamaica. So let's give you an appreciation of what that term covers. In reference to intellectual property, it is typically covers three categories of rights: copyright, trademark, and patent or patent, depending on the pronunciation you prefer.
Right.
Right. So real quickly, what are each of these things? A copyright exists in the form of any creative work that you have produced. Once it can be committed in a storable form, whether in writing, in print, graphically, in a digital form. Once it is placed in a storable form, you can derive copyright to that creative work.
Mm-hmm.
Trademarks are similar, except that they're usually attached to a physical product.
Okay.
And so you've created something which is physical in nature, can be touched and held and manipulated. You can apply to have a trademark on that item. And patents or patents protects a process that you have come up with. So if you've designed a particular process or sequence of steps to achieve a particular outcome, and you would like to have your rights noted in that process, then you would apply for a patent or patent. In Jamaica, we have the Trademark Act, and it covers all of these various areas of rights. So the first thing to say is that although there is some legislation around this, the Trademark Act, and the rules and regulations around that, the first thing to appreciate about intellectual property is that intellectual property exists from the moment of the creation of the work.
From the moment of creation?
Correct. So it's called a natural right of creation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you create something tomorrow, you do a painting or so, immediately you create that work, it belongs to you, not just the physical item, the painting, but the rights to it belong to you at the moment of creation.
Okay.
However, those are rights that are not at that point enforceable until it is registered. So you create a painting or you write a poem. Oh, great, it's your poem, you wrote it, so you have right to it. But until you register it in the process, in the way that we're going to describe shortly, you will not be protected against others who wish to use that
same
poem,
piece of
that
work,
song, or that piece of work.
Right.
So registration is the public acknowledgement of your rights in the work that you've created. Right? And in Jamaica, registration occurs under, again, I said, the Trademark Act, by way of an entity that act creates, the Jamaica Intellectual Property or Office. And so if you are looking to have your rights protected, that's the office to which you are going to go to have your trademark, your copyright, your patent registered.
Okay.
And what we're saying when we talk about having your rights registered is that the priority that you enjoy, the protection you enjoy, occurs on the basis of first registration. So let's say you come up with a poem, 4 lines to your poem, roses are red, violets are blue, da da da.
Right.
And you sit on it and do nothing about it. Then somebody else comes up with the exact same poem, exact same words, and really catches on, and that person goes ahead and registers. Although you would have created it first, the fact that that individual went ahead and registered first means they gain priority over you and can in fact prevent you from using that poem.
So I write a poem
you came up with it
on a piece of paper, and you take away that piece of paper and decide to register it.
Correct.
You have pretty much stolen the rights for it. So you own the rights for it. But it's for me now to prove that it's mine.
Correct. You've gotten that correct. So the person who registers it first is de facto the owner of the rights by simply coming forward to register the rights first. If you feel like there is something that came about by way of some deception or fraud or theft, as you put it, they've stolen it from you, then that is something that you can pursue as well, to challenge their application for the rights.
Right.
and have those rights set aside on the basis of you having first created it. But remember now, in the case of any of these things, your rights only originate at the point of them being that item or that process or that thought, that intellectual creation being put in a storable form in respect of copyright. Storable form meaning you wrote it down or you recorded it on a CD somewhere or you had it printed out. So it has to be in a storable form. It can't be in your head. It can't be registered while it's in your head and you're singing the song and somebody hears it and you think that you own it. It has to be put in a permanent form before you can seek to have the rights to it protected. So when you go to the Jaipur office, they're not going to ask you to sing the song and, oh yes, that's it. They're going to have to record it. You're going to have to put it in some permanent form that can have the rights attached to it.
Now, that raises a question.
Sure.
Anybody tuning right now, you want to call in and ask Owen a question regarding this. 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. All right, let's say I have my little cat in the hat, rat sat bat song.
All right.
And I sing it at a little family gathering. And you hear it and you like it. And you decide to go and record it.
All right.
Is it the same thing as me taking away the piece of paper that you wrote your poem on?
It's equivalent, yes. Yes, it's equivalent. So the moment you have created a work that you think you'd like to have it protected, put it in permanent form and make your way to your favorite attorney's office or to the Jaipur office and have your rights, your work registered and therefore your rights protected.
So, in this day of technology, if during that little family engagement someone were to, let's say, live it from their phone or record it on their phone,
right,
doesn't that now become a recorded piece?
It does. Once it is stored and can be replayed from that device, it becomes recorded. But the question is, who owns that recording?
So the plot even gets thicker.
Yeah, so it becomes a matter of proof at that point. But the fact is, you having created the song, you wrote it, you composed it, came up with it, it is encouraged that you go ahead and register the song. So
before you perform it anywhere.
Before you perform it anywhere. So put it on a tape, put it on a CD. What's the technology now? Put it in a digital form.
Right.
And take that in. Now it helps, of course, in that scenario if there are persons who can attest to the fact that you are the first one to play it, record it, sing it, etc. But of course, that's now a question of proof and going through the various steps around that, especially if there's somebody who is claiming rights to that work.
Right.
So that can get a little messy. So the real recommendation is the minute you write the song, you compose that piece of music, you write the poem, whatever it is, you write the short story, you paint that picture, you go ahead and have it registered and protect your rights. Now, as I indicated at the start, rights commence, meaning the natural rights. You own it the moment it's put in a recordable form.
Right.
Once you've recorded it, so you've written it down, or you've printed it out on your printer, or you've saved it on a disc, the song, it belongs to you. However, to protect it from being used by someone else, to enforce the rights, we say, it is recommended that you have it registered. Now, prior to that, there are a couple of steps you can take that will provide us a certain degree of protection.
Right.
So again, if it is something that can be put in that is put in physical form, especially something written or printed, then there are some marks that you can attach to that to suggest that you are the creator and the natural rights belong to you. So sometimes you'll see a work, an article, a poem, and it will say copyright DJ Kevin 2018
Yes.
with a C inside a circle.
Right. Right.
So that mark helps to provide some protection for you. It notifies the public that you are claiming a right to that work. Right?
Right.
What happens if somebody does a similar work, the exact same thing, and puts the very same inscription on their work? So that's why I say it provides limited protection, because the ultimate protection comes when the work is registered.
Okay. So anybody can go and throw on a copyright sign on their piece of work.
Right. So if you're browsing the net, you'll see photographers especially, and they'll add a watermark to their photos online.
Right.
They really don't want people, claiming their work as theirs. And that, as I said, provides a measure of protection to say that that is a photo that you took and you didn't just swipe it from somebody's page. That's your photo, you created it, it came out of your lens, etc., etc. If it's really worth something commercially, then it's smart to go ahead and register that as well. As a graphic artist, and you design a particular logo or some other graphical design that you think has a commercial value, then it's worth getting that registered as well.
You just have to register everything.
Once you believe that there's a worthwhile commercial value to it, then sure.
Man. Everything needs to be registered. Once you've done it, you go ahead and register it. Send it in for your registration. Now,
Sure, that's the recommendation.
where does the lawyer come in with this process?
All right. So as with many processes, a lot of this, certainly in Jamaica, has been simplified and made available to the general public. However, the process, it helps to have an attorney to navigate the steps and the stages. Doesn't mean you are required to use one, but for someone who is trained in the area and can provide you with specific advice as to how to go about it, what types of protection to pursue, and how to enforce it, it's always helpful to have a professional do this. Having said that, I'll repeat, it is possible to achieve a degree of protection even without visiting myself or any of my colleagues. The Jamaica Intellectual Property Office is readily available, can see individuals and assist you with getting your rights protected as well.
No,
Right?
the when it comes to overseas individuals,
Right.
how the ones in the diaspora, how does that work? Does it work any differently?
All right. So as far as the application process, it wouldn't be very different. But I'll just say that that intellectual property, for the most part, is very territorial. It's very jurisdictional. So the steps you take in a particular jurisdiction provide protection within that jurisdiction for the most part. However, there are some jurisdictions, and Jamaica is one, which protection can be extended beyond Jamaica. For instance, because we at Jamaica are party to the Paris Accord, and out of that accord, a treaty signed years ago in Paris, of course, where those rights get protected in those countries which are signatories to that accord. And I do recommend at this point, especially for persons who would like protection outside of the jurisdiction, that you do sit with an attorney to assist you there. For persons outside of Jamaica who want to register in Jamaica, you can reach out to JIPO or reach out to your favorite friendly neighborhood attorney, and
Like Owen K. Ferguson.
that assistance provided to you to have your rights protected. And I did mention, and it's important to note, that if what you're seeking to do is of potential significant commercial value, then there is worth in doing this step. There are some costs that JIPO will charge you. I keep saying JIPO, it's the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office. Um, there are some costs, so it makes sense to reserve this action for things that you think have some significant commercial value.
Right.
So if tomorrow you get a few sticks and some nails and you nail together a skate, Kev, I'm not suggesting you go and get that copyrighted or trademark. But if it is something that you
Why
will
not?
have some commercial value, then by all means, go ahead. Remember, we used to make skate back in the day.
Yeah.
Come on, with board and nail and,
Of
and
course.
some
Why not?
wheel bearings and that kind of thing.
But yeah, man, that needs to be done, man. If you create something, you go ahead and you register it.
Of course, the DJ Kevin skate.
Exactly. Insurance and liabilities, no, then don't come to me. You know.
There you go.
However, well, I thank you, Owen, for
Yes, sir.
bringing this bit of information. Much needed, because in this time where everybody is creative and trying to make a little penny,
Right.
you know, you kind of need to put everything in place, you know, cross all your I's and dot all your T's.
For sure. So this couldn't be seen as anything more than a quick and brief introduction to the area. There's so much more to it. And I don't know if we'll have time to come back to it another day, but
Oh,
certainly
yes.
if persons need further assistance, then it is available through the channels that we mentioned. Through
Most
Jamaica
definitely.
Intellectual Property Office, or through someone like myself who practices in the area.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. And I encourage everybody who is gifted in the world of the arts, writing, singing. Well, writing covers both poetry and
Right.
song. You know, graphic arts, any little thing. You make a little beat.
Right.
Yeah, sort out your thing, because when somebody comes along that likes it and decides to take it and
Right.
register it, then you're going to have to do the long process, go through the long process of reclaiming it.
Right.
Okay.
I leave your listeners with one last point, and that even registration does not last forever. So there's a time limit
Really?
around that. So from time to time, depending on the nature of the work, registration will have to be renewed. So for trademarks in Jamaica, the registration period is 10 years.
Okay.
So you get protection for 10 years. But of course, you can always go ahead and apply for that period to be renewed for a further 10 years. And each 10-year period thereafter, you can
Okay.
go ahead and get it renewed on each occasion.
Okay. Okay.
And
Cool.
that's for trademarks.
All right. I thank you, sir.
You are welcome. Always a pleasure.
All right. You take care of yourself now, and we'll
ma'am.
talk soon.
Okay, Kev. Take care, man. Good night.
All right. We're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we get into the other part. I want to thank Pulse E Media Group. When being in a moment is priceless, they were responsible for this segment of the show. They took care of the sponsorship for this segment of the show. And I want to say thank you to Pulse E Media Group, and thank you for making this video that some of you are watching happen. Cool. We'll be right back after these few messages. We'll get into the next segment. Some people really looking forward to that. All right. We'll be back.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment.
If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school,
In math,
I learned that I'm ugly
I
and
learned
useless.
that I'm trash.
And in gym,
In biology,
I learned that I'm
I
pathetic
learned that I'm fat
and a
and
joke.
stupid.
In history,
Today in
I learned that
school,
I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick.
And in
And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell.
and a joke.
In chemistry, I learned that no one
In
likes me.
biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in
I
math,
learned that I make people
I
sick.
learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today
The only thing I didn't learn today
The only thing I didn't learn
Is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
JTMC Music presents the highly anticipated, much talked about, The Juggling Rhythm Volume 1. This classic rhythm takes on a new life with tracks from both established artists and introduces some incredible new voices. Get your dancing shoes ready with The Juggling Rhythm, featuring international reggae dancehall artist Mr. Vegas, alongside Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson, Jack Radix, Hezron, Dangling, Joanna Marie featuring Galaxy B, Denny Ranks featuring Jawiz, Ambalik, Christine Alicia, Yishka. Also the new sensations on the rhythm: Zeal, Danger Lee, Marquis Skelenar, Zachary. Available on all digital media outlets. The Juggling Rhythm. Get it, get it, get it.
We're off to an early start for a long hot summer, but beat the heat with a dash of lemongrass refresher. This cool thirst quencher is a low sugar beverage made from the fevergrass plant, which has antioxidants, several wellness properties, and is a great lifestyle drink for all ages. Ah, that hits the spot. It's a new great taste. Have one today. Dash lemongrass refresher, distributed by Cab Atlantic Distributors. Call 954-614-0919. That's 954-614-0919. Life's a dash. Live well.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
It's Christine representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin's Chew and the night shift radio show. Yo, the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin's Chew have the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin's Chew believe him, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show, Christine. It's a heart to top. Loud. Kill the beast.
An everlasting smile. take your heart away.
The sound of the birthday girl. I want to say happy Earth Date to Lady Tia. This is her new single, Words. As I get ready, as we get ready, ready for what you may ask? Get ready to talk to the big man himself. Yeah, he'll be tuning in, and you'll be hearing his voice and seeing his image up in just a few minutes. No, you won't be watching him live, but you'll be hearing him live in just a few minutes as he sorts out some things on his side. I warm you up on this side. This segment is brought to you courtesy of GMAC Music Solutions. You see, you have Pulsey Media, you have GMAC. Pulsey Media broadcast your event or set you up with a platform like this that you see right here. GMAC Music Solutions. Now, when you have your live events, they are the ones that can give you your engineer, your equipment, being your lighting, your stage equipment for your audio. Yeah. If you have need for a DJ, you could probably get one. You can get one through GMAC Music Solutions. If you need an MC, you can get one through GMAC Music Solutions. Listen. Between those two, you can get a whole lot of things for your event. Pulsey Media, GMAC Music Solutions. This segment is brought to you courtesy of GMAC Music Solutions. Give them a call, find out how they can help you with your event, and tell them I sent you. DJ Kevin Stew. 754-307-GMAC. 754-307-4622. That's the number to call. Get in touch with them. Do it now. It doesn't really matter when your event is. Do it now. Is all that.
You're a liar. You're such a liar.
The new music coming at you. This is from Anne Marie. It's called Liar.
The same old story you're telling me.
Invite you to call a friend and tell a friend.
You must really think that I'm a fool. Your car had a flat. You ran out of gas. Stopped by the cops again. You've got some nerve. What is wrong with you? You're a liar. That's why your keys don't work anymore. Stop knocking my door. A deceiver. You had it good, but now I am done. 'Cause I found someone who loves me better.
You like this track, don't you?
'Cause I found someone
Just to remind you,
who loves me better.
number to call, numbers to text to get in touch.
Please don't love me better. Stop knocking my door.
773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. That's the number you want to call, number to text to get you in touch. Of course, you can go straight to kevinstew.com and just go into the chat room and chat with us there. Our guest tonight was in the movie of the same name as this track. The son of Beanie Man, Chevelle Franklin. A track called Dancehall Queen.
Chevelle Franklin, sing. She's a dancehall queen for life. Gonna explode like dynamite. And she's moving out of sight. So she's gonna shut the place like dynamite. She's a dancehall queen for life. Gonna explode like dynamite. And she's moving out of sight. So she's gonna shut the place like dynamite.
Just warming you up a little bit. I know one of the listeners really likes some house and techno music. Yeah, I give you a little bit of everything for everyone, you know. Hey Jay, good evening. How's New York? Warm enough for you? It's fancy. Chilling over there, huh? Good evening to you. want to say hi to our guests in the chat room. You can change your name, you know. That little box right above the text box. Yeah, that's where your name goes. Don't be shy. I got one more for you. You ready for it? Here I am wondering why you guys not hearing it. I'm enjoying it all myself. I got you on that request, okay? So, for all our listeners right now, jump on over to kevinstew.com and type something that you know about Paul Campbell in the chat room. And after you're done doing that, type something you want to find out. So when Paul comes on, he can address all of those.
No
This is how we pass the time until. If you can't get into the chat room to send me your information, what you know about Paul and what you want to know about Paul, go ahead and text it to the text line, the call line. It's the same line. 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. Three minutes to the top of the hour. My, how time flies. Yeah, don't blame me either.
Don't blame it, 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 don't blame it on me. It is not my fault when I all down on the rum. Don't blame me at all. If I drink up all the rum, tell them it is not my fault when I all down on the rum. Don't blame me at all. If I drink up all the rum, if I drink too much and I get real drunk, now it's so come and me do it. If I keep for wine on a girl behind, now it's so come and me do it. If I get it on bad, I don't give a walk, cause it's so come and me do it. Watching up every carnival around the world, now it's so come and me do it. Don't blame it, 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 don't blame it on me. It's not my fault. Don't blame it, 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 don't blame it on me. Don't blame it, 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 don't blame it on me. The roof is on fire. Soca all day. If I drink too much and I get real drunk, now it's soca make me do it. If I keep for wine on a girl behind, now it's soca make me do it. If I get it on bad, I don't give a walk, cause it's soca make me do it. Watching up every carnival around the world, now it's soca make me do it. Soca make me do it. Soca make me do it.
One more.
Soca make me do it. Soca make me do it.
I promise you, just this one more. 1 minute to the top of the hour. We have a commercial break to take at the top of the hour.
It was a hot night. It was a night for feeling, and we were in the mood.
Right, happy.
Music playing, elections really rocking.
It's a soca that made me do it.
The way she winding, to tell she has a engine that barely built for speed. That was no problem, 'cause I'm a racing driver and I could handle speed. She had me swinging engine all night, swinging engine all night, swinging engine all night, swinging engine, swing she engine all night. Aye. Now we are speeding, the engine really screaming, and I am pumping gears. Wearing my seatbelt, using gloves and my helmet, and driving.
I'm glad you are happy.
We start vibrating, now I hear drum shot knocking. Should I ease off and on? Now I smell gasoline, with all these sparks flying. The engine might blow up, but we still not ease up. Swinging engine all night, swinging engine all night, swinging engine all night, swinging engine, the swing she engine all night.
We're gonna take a quick little commercial break. I hope everything is okay with Paul. All being well, when we come back from the break, you should be able to join us. Yeah, you know, you got to back it up at some point. That's why they have reverse in there. And you draw your handbrake. Oh, Lord. Gonna take a quick little break. We'll be right back.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
JTMC Music presents the highly anticipated, much talked about, The Juggling Rhythm Volume 1. This classic rhythm takes on a new life with tracks from both established artists and introduces some incredible new voices. Get your dancing shoes ready with The Juggling Rhythm, featuring international reggae dancehall artist Mr. Vegas, alongside Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson, Jack Radix, Hezron, Dangling, Joanna Marie featuring Galaxy P, Denny Ranks featuring Jawiz, Ambalik, Christine Alicia, Yishka. Also the new sensations of the rhythm: Zeal, Danger Lee, Marquis Skelenar, Zachary. Available on all digital media outlets. The Juggling Rhythm. Get it, get it, get it.
It's time to get live, it's time to get lit. Spiritually powered inspirational thoughts. It's time to spit. Join Sharon Corinthian and St. Patrick every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 96.3 IMG Radio as they bring you poetry at its finest, featuring some of the hottest spoken word artists from around the world. It will leave you touched, moved, and inspired. Tell a friend to tell a friend and join us for the show.
Hey yo, this is Caramanti letting you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Don't move.
I want to welcome you guys back to the show. I know some of you been waiting. Yeah, how many of you were saying, boy, this Kevin, you see, he's in so much trouble. This is Mr. Romain Virgo. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this one short until later on. I'll play it again before we get out of here. But, here we have on the line the troublemaker himself, the one and only, Aloysius. I can't even go through all of the name of them. Ladies and gentlemen, the big man, the man we've been waiting for, the one and only, Mr.
Aloysius, idiomatic, gas, mind, practicable, long-show, man, technical, predominant, and diluted, enraptured, parliamentarian, patriarch, but relative, brilliant, dichotom, intellectual, GSI, and curtain linkage, colonialistic, dilapidated, OICO, pro-pax, supinate, Hobson.
Yes, sir! Ladies and gentlemen,
Once again,
the one and only Paul Campbell.
What's going on, DJ Kevin?
Listen, man, I can't tell you how people have been waiting. I've been pushing this one. Listen. I am good. I am beside myself right now. Being in the presence of greatness, you know.
All right, Brooklyn, and I hope some of your greatness will rub off on me too.
This segment is brought to you courtesy of JTMC Enterprise. Promoters extraordinaire. Let me tell you. Paul, how are things with you?
A lot of things could be better, always could be better, but I'm very thankful. I'm alive.
Yes.
I suffered a heart attack in September of last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been good. I've been taking my meds.
Good.
I've been doing my exercises, and I've been trying not to let people stress me out. So I'm good. I'm very good. I'm able to paint and I'm able to write, and I'm happy to be here.
Able to paint and able to write. You see, people don't know about that side of Paul Campbell. The Paul Campbell that people know is the one that say walk and live. But that's the Paul Campbell that a lot of people know. And the one that you I don't even know how you remember that line. How you remember that line? That was when 19.
You know, after you've been waiting for your entire life to fulfill your dream as a film star.
Yes.
Or to be a movie star, and along comes a role.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it. So you drop everything else and focus. And that's what I did. I mean, how could I not remember those names? You know what I mean? It was indelibly printed after. I mean, trust me on this, man. I went all out. I locked up my home. I left my car at my sister's house. And I walked from Kingston to St. Anne's Bay.
You did what?
Yeah, I walked from Kingston to St. Anne's Bay barefooted.
You serious?
Yeah, man. I had to become the lunatic. Remember now, when I got the job, I was a very fashionable fashionista entertainment manager at Coney Park.
That's right.
That's right. So I
was the one. About that.
I was the one who was responsible for Border Clash. I put together that show, Border Clash. I became so famous after Ninja Manji. Border Clash?
Right.
Border Clash. Mm-hmm. But, I after Coney Park days, I sort of put that up. When I got the phone call, I walked from Kingston. I took my time. I did Mount Ross. I did Ewerton. I did the normal way that you normally drive. These days, it's Highway 2000, but
yes.
Those days, it was the trek. You know, Ewerton, Bamboo, you couldn't go through, you know?
Right.
But it was worth it, because by the time I got there, my feet were burnt to a crisp. Barefooted, hot sun, asphalt.
Hence, you could do the barefoot. Aloysius.
Yeah, well, you saw him running on the side of the mountain, right?
Yes.
With that stone, I could not have done that had I not prepared myself that kind of roughness there, you know? And if you notice how when I slept in the roots of the tree, that was my good friend. I was very comfortable. I find my little niche because I lived under that tree long before the cameras came.
But you went all out and got totally submerged into this character. You totally transformed.
I'm what is called a method actor, and I approach the job as serious as a surgeon approaches his, because I think it's an absolutely wonderful art form when you're able to metamorphosize into something totally different. The lunatic, simple things like I stopped using my right hand and started using my left hand. And when you start doing that, your posture changes. So that takes away from.
I never thought of that.
Say what?
I never thought of that. Your whole posture change when you.
Yes, it does. It does. If you know a lefty different from a right-handed person, just because of how them set. And I did that. But these are the things that I tell you that is really worth it being the actor. If you break it down, in details. An example, the character Priest, dancehall queen.
Right.
People were lividly afraid of this character. This man had nothing but a little knife. Even the people sitting in the theater were afraid of this man. You understand? Because of his attitude.
Right.
What I did to give him that sort of turmoil was to have him tighten his jawlines. If you notice, that character sort of always tightened his jawlines.
Right.
Tightened his jawbone. So that always says that there was turmoil going on inside. So when you see what was a woman said it, vicious animal, yeah. So details, lots and lots of details. The way I stood, sort of akimbo when I played the lunatic. I made him into a child. He was able to speak to. I thought it was a very special gift to speak to trees and to speak to plants. This is how you have to break it down. There's a process called breaking it down.
Right.
And once you believe the backstory that you make up, you're as far as the characterization is concerned, you can just sail along, madman legit.
Boy, Tree was outside of you. Tree was my favorite character. Cause the wise old tree. Yes, man.
You're talking about the tree that talks about me want some pum pum too. That wise old tree.
That wise old tree. I don't tell anybody I said this, but I've lived by those words ever since I've heard them. But that's for my Wednesday night show. That's not for tonight's show. That's what with you
as long as you remember that pum pum rules. That's the rule.
Right. Now, move from the lunatic to the bad man of Priest. But that was pretty much the character that you... Is it a typecast type of a thing that all the characters since then were this bad man character?
No, when I did the lunatic, Paul Campbell, the actor, went into it, broke it down, became the character from the book.
Right.
I never did read the book.
Really?
The greatest compliment paid to me from the writer of the book, Anthony Winkler. He died a couple of years ago, but the compliment he paid was my mother had passed on a couple of weeks before the film premiered. And he had written me a letter talking about your sympathies, condolences, and all of that. And
yes,
that when he saw the film, everything that I've done and everything that I become as far as characterization was concerned was what he had in mind as he wrote that book. And that was one of the biggest compliment paid to me as an actor. So I knew I was on I knew I was at the right, track, so to speak. So yeah, from there on, man, But my thing is, my thing is I'm interested in the art of acting. I'm not just the actor. I tell the story by way of the way I sound. I never planned for the voice of the character. After I break down the character, the voice comes naturally.
Okay.
Yeah, like Aloysius. Aloysius was really high.
Yeah. Right.
And every child spoke in that manner. There's an innocence in that highly pitched voice.
True.
So yeah, man. Well,
Inga broke him out because I noticed after Inga came around, his voice kind of deepened a little bit.
He get deep. I was like, yeah, tell you. What's it? Inga broke him out.
Right. And she carried him to the graveyard.
Yeah, I'm going to take him virginity. I'm not doing it in the graveyard.
See? That was when his voice got a little deep.
And so 7 years after that, a film came out by the name of Dancehall Queen.
Right.
I was called. I went there. My early years was Maxfield Avenue, concrete jungle, water lane, down south. I used to go to school next to GP, General Penitentiary.
Yes.
I was born in the water. You hear them talk about Raytown?
I'm very familiar with it.
Where?
There's a Salvation Army right down there.
About a Raytown, a Water Street.
Yep.
1959, many years ago, before you were even a thought.
Yeah, it was a few years before I became a thought. Just a few.
So I never knew it was, but I lived with people like that, so I was able to, draw from that experience. I lived in Maxfield Avenue, where when things get kind of rough, you had to play the part, put on your war face and run go out there and
right.
And that. So I actually did live the part, and it was in fact life imitating art and vice versa.
Looking at those characters, and I remember the first time that I saw you in person, and you were all smiles and just chill. And I was like, is this guy that guy?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's attitude. It's that's the art. It's the art that I'm interested in metamorphosizing and becoming someone else to a very minute detail. The way you blink, the way you move your eyes from left to right, whether it says suspicion or whether it says doubt. They're very, I mean, brethren, trust me, it's a lot of breaking down.
How did you get involved?
How did I get involved with what?
With acting?
I was a habitual liar. I used to tell my mother all kind of lies because I didn't want to go to school. This is when I was 6, 7, and I remember I get beaten one morning that I'll never forget. So I'd exhausted all of my lies about headache and bellyache and toothache and teeth and all of the aches. So I thought to myself, early that morning as I lay there in bed looking at the ceiling, what else I can come up with is to tell Mama so I can get out of going to school. I show you how my little mind was working then. And then it came to me. My eyes were open, but I was blind. And I screamed, Mama, Mama! And she ran into the room and she said, what happened, Mom? I said, I can't see, Mama. Mama, I can't see, Mama, I can't see. Right. And poor Mama no. Mama was just so terrified now. She got put on her clothes, her big son can't see. So she called Mr. McKitty from next door. We have only the old Austin, Cambridge. She said, listen, we have to go to the hospital. Paula got blind. I don't know what's going on. And I could see her getting really, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, is it too late to tell her that no, it's a lie? Is it too late? No, I better not tell her because she's going to kill me. And then I was between... and then I was between the rock and the hard place. And contemplated even while I was in the back of Mr. McKetty, Aston, Cambridge. And so we stop at the doctor's now and we come out and I said, Mama, me can see. Listen, man, let me tell you something. Yeah. When I relive that thing, I have spasms. I don't even want to think about it.
Wow. So, having had that experience, 7, what about age 7? Your first acting gig was what?
I was sitting in the good. I was in a red shorts that was given to me. And you know them boy them down on the corner, them a play scrimmage.
Right.
So I'm a part of the scrimmage team, and then somebody came with a Friday Star, and I'm checking it out. I'm at this time I'm about 17.
Okay.
17, and I'm checking it out, and I see in the back of the Star auditions being held for the pantomime. Which is a national issue. You're aware, you're familiar.
I have an uncle that was very involved in pantomimes. He acted in a number of them.
All right. Well, my thing is, I saw that for the first time. That was my foray, so to speak, into the theatrics or into the world of theater. And so I went, I auditioned, I got the role. I was involved in the first one called Johnny Reggae. I played with 2 other people, Claudel Clark and I think Colin Angling. And we were called the Mouthwater Quartet. 3 of us. The quartet.
3 of you called the Mouthwater Quartet. Okay. Cool.
So while they were moving left, I was moving right, and it became a hit. I became a funny guy, you know, so it went, so I started feeling the light on my face, getting in the grease paint, the smell of it, folks applauding, started loving it all. And it was a pantomime, and from the pantomime I started doing local productions in Jamaica, theater productions. And from time to time, whenever people from foreign would come and use the Jamaican people, I'd be a part of it, and I'd get involved in productions being shot in Jamaica. Such productions were Lorimar Going to Extreme, NBC's Passion in Paradise.
Okay.
Quite a number of bits and pieces that came to the island, but that wasn't enough for me, you know, because what they did before they came to the island was to cast the better parts outside of the island.
Right.
You know, to the movie stars in LA, you know, so if I wanted to get into that sort of echelon, into that sort of bracket, it would spell sense that I moved to LA.
Right.
And so that was the thinking, and I eventually had to go. I remember when I really made up my mind that I had to leave Jamaica. I was in Crossroads with one of them deportee cars. You remember the deportee?
Yeah, man. Toyota Corolla station wagon?
I did have a DX.
Okay.
And I'm right out there by Juicy Beef looking over at Carib Theatre, and I see the long line of people all the way past Gonorrhea Clinic going down Slipe Road.
Yes.
And they're all going into the Carib Theater to see me in Dancehall Queen. And then I turn around and I look at the back tires of my DX.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pure car that me see a skinny teeth with me. Me tire a skinny teeth, white car that show. And I'm thinking, how is it that I'm the movie star over there, packing in the people? And right here in real life, I can hardly afford a tire. That does not compute.
No. Does not add up at all.
Right. And so many folks like myself go through this. You know, I'm kind of nonconformist when it gets to people telling me that I should be comfortable with what I'm given. I don't buy that argument at all. Me want more. Me want the world. My mother used to say, Paul, the world is your oyster. You hear me? I say, yes, Mama. It's to go there and go and unfold it and take your pearl. I say, yes, Mama. So that has always been instilled in the brain, you know. So, yeah, nobody can tell me otherwise. It doesn't matter what color they are.
Mm. Now, so you made the trek, I'm assuming, at that point, to the West Coast.
Yep. Slept in plaza, slept in bus shelters, slept in McDonald's, slept in everywhere. You know,
How many times have I heard that story?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, it's what you want, so you have to go that way. There are other ways of getting it, you know, but some people have a little bit of scruples left. So they might not venture that way and venture the way of beating the pavement and going to the casting sessions and constantly getting the rejection and smiling and say, thank you very much for seeing me. Thank you. You know, and you go home and you cry, you know. There was an instant where I was attending, watching Toots at the Hollywood Bowl. Big show place in LA, and I went to check out Toots, and my people then were performing. And I ran into a very famous casting director who, oh, Paul, darling, you know, you come see me at the office that we've got a film going, and I'd really love you to be part of it. So I went to the office the following week to be a part of the film. I auditioned. I went home, got home, the phone rang. Paul, the director loves you. Are you able to read with him in the morning? Yes, I'll be there. Knock, knock, knock. I'm there. Hi, director. Read with the director. The director says, this is our guy. And I go outside and I look up into the billowing clouds passing against the blue backdrop. And I said, thank you, my creator. Here it is. This film is going to be $89 million. That's the budget. And if I'm going to be a major part of it, then I'll be able to buy me some real good things, you know, make some great investments. So I got on the phone, started selling, buying, and 3 weeks later I'm to write the sign the dotted line and all of that. And then I get a call beforehand that it's the casting director. Who tells me that, Paul, I'm so sorry. Can you come to the office? Sure. And so I get to the office. I said, hey, what's up? And she says, you know, Paul, here in L.A., directors have cliques.
Oh, Lord.
Meaning Spike Lee likes to work with particular actors or particular cameramen. Tarantino likes to do the same. Scorsese likes to do the same. They have their cliques. Brett Ratner is no different. Oh, Brett was the director of the piece that I was about to do. Well, was told that I was a part of. And then I'm told the part of the clique who was busy while they were casting where I got the part was now free from shooting in Rwanda. I think the film was called The film was called Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah.
Anyway, that actor got the part. So I said, well, all right, my brother, do your thing. And I stepped aside and I went into a bag of depression. A very good friend of mine got me out of it. Jeffrey Gunther. You know him, actor, Jamaican from Mark for Death and all of that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Ras.
Yeah, he's no longer Ras, but yeah, he got me out of it. He said, Paul, you're going to get rejected. Over. Come. Get up. And then he throws a script through the window and said, study this.
You wouldn't even open the door? You had to throw the script through the window?
No. Yeah. I never want to see nobody, Virgin. It was going 2 months and I still hadn't seen nobody or spoken to anybody. Luckily, I painted and I had material, so I just stayed home and painted. Crazy paintings, but painted. Yeah, but him throwing the script through the window and my reading it sort of got me out of whatever, and I was able to formulate another character. I think the play was called, Feminine Justice.
Feminine Justice.
Yeah, the story of a man who abuses his wife, meets in an accident, goes to purgatory, meets God, finds out God is a woman.
See?
God,
I knew I was right.
God sends him back to the land of the living in his wife's house. But now he's his wife's maid. And the man who used to treat very bad, the gardener, is now his wife's husband.
Wow.
And he's now come back as a woman, Matilda. So the second half, the curtain opens, and I'm dressed in a French maid outfit with a little white bonnet over my head with 2 pearl earrings, rouge, and some woman's shoes. With some things stuff up in my chest, and I am playing Matilda. Brilliant play. I loved it.
Nice.
It eased me out of the doldrums, and it made money.
Who would have thunk it? Being a woman was what got you out of depression.
I didn't say that. You're saying that. You're saying that, but me know how the black people stay, so make me rephrase it. Now, be careful when we talk to Uno. Unlike you, Kevin, you know, woman did not take. I told you the place called Feminine Justice. These are the ways rumors are formed. So me not worry about me. You don't know, man. Never told woman to get out of the first time. All right, this was a good choice speaking to you tonight.
I guess we know who you won't talk to on the air anymore.
Hello?
They're like Rockwell and just cut off my mic. I have the controls on this side, sir. Speaking of Rockwell, this segment is brought to you courtesy of the Wake Up and Live show. Catch Sir Rockwell tomorrow morning. 7 o'clock goes until 11 tomorrow. Right?
You better have strong arms. Nothing Sir Rockwell is going to be a task.
Oh boy, I tell you. So you did Feminine Justice. I'd love to see that play because that sounds like an excellent script put together.
Okay, I thought you wanted to see me in my nurse's uniform.
You know, yeah. I'm not too sure I'm ready for that yet.
No, after that, I left LA and I came to Florida to shoot Shutters. Yeah.
So, from stage play to screen.
Well, it's always been like that. It's what's going, you know. If it's a play, yeah. I mean, if it's a film, it's a film, you know.
How different is it? Is it any different?
Very.
Putting on a
Very.
character for screen versus for live audience. How so?
The greatest thing about the screen is that you can think it through your eyes and you can still communicate. For example, I purposely never wanted to say anything as a character Mad Max. You know, but he communicated, trust me. The streets know how well he communicated.
Right.
You know, because it's very challenging being the actor without saying anything and still getting your point across.
Yeah.
Using other ways, you know, so that's I'm always up for that. I enjoy that. Yeah, man.
And someone saw your picture today and I go, oh wait, that's Mad Max. That's Mad Max. That's his name is Paul Campbell.
No, but most people, you see, people are. It's a part of the work, and I agree with it. Part of what I chose to do. To sit down and stand up and take picture with people who enjoy my work. It's cool. It's cool, you know.
Some people think that you're not approachable because you are the big screen actor, Paul Campbell. You know, from Shutters and Dance and Queen.
No. Anybody who knows me know that is farcical. That is bullshit. Nothing like that. That couldn't be further from the truth. If anything else, I'm too damn humble.
There you go.
Yep.
So, people, when you see him, say hello.
You're trying to be cool and all of that. Some people take familiarity to new heights.
Right. Yeah, that there's that running that risk too.
Yeah, but then again, like I say, it's a job, and you know, you just have to deal with it. You know, I'd never change nothing to DJ Kevin. I'd never change a thing.
One of the things that was a real joy for me with my earlier experiences with being in the same airspace as you is you going on a stage with a live band and not speaking but singing. That was a joy.
Doing my thing. I tell you what. Earlier, when I went to school, the School of Dramatic Arts, you have to speak, you have to dance, you have to sing.
Right.
I mean, my discipline was doing all of that. I mean, if you wanted to truly be a truly rounded theater practitioner, you had to have all of them things there under your belt.
Right, because for those who don't know it, pantomime is acting with singing.
It's what they call a musical.
Right.
And I've been doing musicals forever. You know, I mean, the other day I did a film which was called Romeo and Juliet in Harlem, where I spoke only Shakespearean language. And people was
love it.
What? Yeah, you know, I know I can't live no more. It's hither, whither thou goest in the morning before the noon's nigh. Thy daughter upon her laden white lily breast has shown favor for you. What the fuck is he saying? I'm on radio.
Yes, you're on radio.
Oh yeah, that is Max. But what it is that I'm an actor, you know, and I remember my tutor years ago used to say, "Be a tree," and then you become a tree. Be a car, be a whatever, and you become that. As far as your interpretation is concerned, so that's what I do, and I'm maybe minute fraction of my characters, but I'm not my character. A man come check me with a machine already, you know, say, yo, Mark, this is for you, you know. Hold this now. Barretta, you know. So me have to look on him and say, yo, Bridget, my Arsenal full. Saying? The man look at me and said, I know, man, you're tough. It's a cool or that. And that was the end of that, you understand? So, yeah, sometimes you got to be cognizant of people who will see you on the screen and think that you are.
Right.
So, yeah.
I remember seeing my uncle on stage in River Mama and the Golden Table at Ward Theatre. He was playing the character Boise. And then going home and seeing him that weekend, he didn't live with us, seeing him come by the house that weekend, I was like, wait a minute. Who was that guy? You're not that guy. I was young at the time. I was like, that's so cool. You have multiple personalities. I didn't know what multiple personalities was at the time, but you know that looking back at it, that was my thinking. You get to be all these people. So is it that you have to have a touch of schizophrenia to be an actor?
It helps. No, why you laughing? You asked me a serious question and I'm giving you a serious answer, brother.
See, people take this thing lightly, you know. When I tell people that I probably need to see someone myself, they look at me funny. But I guess to do things like even this, to talk and then I have the added component of video. So I talk and I'm seen. But I don't get to do a lot of characters.
No, but you can. I tell you something though, you know, there was a virgin in London, you see.
Yeah.
I had a show, a radio show, and you lucky you can still be seen. In those days, you can't see him.
Right.
But he created such a world. He had a dog in the studio that he called his dog. There was no dog. He used to bark. He used to whine. And he'd be whining. He'd say, shut up, get up, get from under there. Let go my pants leg. And he'd get into his shit. And then he'd become another guest with a different voice. Changes the voice. And he had a whale of a time. You think there were about 3 people there?
Right.
One person. So it was brilliant, you know what I mean? And when people learned that it was only him in the studio that did it, yeah, it went over very well. So, I mean, radio can be exciting, Virgin. I mean, I mean, you know, I mean, although it's great to be seen, it's even greater when you can have the people's imagination going with your words. You start painting with your words.
Yes.
You said the woman come in, and when she come in, you want to see how she sweat. Water just a drip off her, like, yeah, the way I emphasize on certain words, you can see the woman, right?
Right.
You know,
Yes.
So, yeah, man, that's the beauty of words, you know, and how you juxtapose them just to make a point. What? I love that. That's what one of my greatest things, you know, but people would never know. Well, my close friends know that.
Now, as you had gone into that little bit just now, recently you did some stories. Yes. Now, what's the story with that? Did you do a whole series? Did you do just a few? Were you commissioned to do it? Was that your thing?
No. Out of my heart, out of feeling patriotic, my friend, another Jamaican virgin, 3 of us came together. A pilot friend of mine by the name of, we call him Jet. His name is Dwight Oliver. Dwight Oliver.
Okay.
And then there's Ron Meredith, who is the guy who does all of the technical stuff and put in the sound effects and all of that.
Right.
And I wrote the stories, with the guidance of the older stories, but I embellished it somewhat, built upon it.
Yeah.
I had a Nancy with a 6G cell phone. The next time I write it, I'm going to have a 12G because at the rate it's going, it's a G every 2 weeks.
Right.
But, I have brother Tukuma, ride a ninja bike. Now, when him see the most beautiful woman in the world, Janko Jar breaks,
Yes.
So it's all these things, but I made it appealing to the kids now.
Right.
Because if we used words like Gordy and then stuff, they wouldn't have a clue what that is. When kids don't know what a calabash is.
Right.
So why not to make it now and make it exciting? And so what we did, we came together, and this was done to celebrate Jamaica's 50th anniversary. When they had the 50th anniversary thing, all of that excitement.
Right,
And
right. Yes.
the tagline was keeping our heritage alive. Because for those of us who don't know, that is originating from West Africa. The Anansi story.
Yes.
Many years ago, before we were ripped away from the soil of Africa, we had griots who were called storytellers who used to sit down and tell stories. And Anansi story was, let me tell you something, my youth. Sometimes, said that the other day, American Gods, some TV show, had the character Anansi in it. The trickster from Africa.
When was this?
American Gods.
American Gods. Really?
Yes. Played by Orlando Jones. That big eye black boy there?
Yeah.
He played it. He played Anansi, the trickster from Africa.
Huh.
And what have we done? Anyway, let me not jump the fence of relevance here.
I almost said something to it, but yeah.
Yeah, but the bottom line is we did that. We did a CD.
How many
And
stories?
8 stories, and they're between 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes long kind of thing,
Right.
But beautiful. You go online and you'll see it, AnansiStories.com. But what happens is you can listen to the story and then it fades out.
You don't get the whole story.
Definitely, and it's quite cheap, 99 cents. Or if you want to buy the CD, which is a much better purchase, clever. But we did that. Went to Jamaica, launched it. I ran into the person representing the Jamaicans and their culture. We had talks. I showed it to her. He said, "Okay, Pablo, go back. When you go home, write to me. Let me know what's going on and ting. I did so. They never did hear back from her. So like everything else, we have a tendency of biting into bureaucracy. And when we start eating the bit of bureaucracy, sometimes, the complaints. So I just leave it alone, brethren. Your mind change, before you get in there, you say, listen, I'm going to help. But sometimes it is so hard because as a young person with fresh ideas going into this thing, you come upon old dinosaurs.
Yes.
You've been in the business forever. And then now nobody with them new self coming and come change nothing.
Right. This is how it has always worked.
This is how it worked. You call it working? That's not working.
Yeah, well, we know different, but that's the way they think.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But this is what I'm saying. So it just never panned out,
Right.
And what I had originally in mind, because the thing is, we are so quickly losing our Jamaicanness.
Yes.
We are so quickly losing our culture. One little girl come out the other day and I diss Miss Lou. All these things, what you know of what Miss Lou got through? Eh?
Right.
What do you know? Do you know when Miss Lou at the ring ding? Miss Luke, what a big minister asked for a loan for car and them tell her no?
Nope.
You understand? If I ever tell you some stories of Miss Luke go through here, Virgin to the curly tour.
That's
Randy
just it.
Williams. Randy
Yes.
Williams, a Jamaican entertainer, my youth.
Yes.
When gangrene take up him foot, you know what the people did in Jamaica? Them put out at the side of the Friday Star. I'll never forget it. And that has guided me many years. Them put out a come help save Randy foot if you can 10 cent, 20 cent, 25 cent, whatever you can give so him can get a false foot. Now a man who's given his entire life to a nation of people.
And that is what it come down to.
Then at that me I tell you, my youth, eh? Try to, you know, sometimes, you know, just do you.
Right.
My thing is with what I'm blessed with, I teach, Virgin. In case you don't know, I teach, you know. So
what ages are you imparting knowledge on? What are you imparting?
What am I imparting indeed? I am imparting sense, I'm imparting wisdom, I'm imparting drama, I'm imparting how you get to certain things. What I'm imparting is what I'm trying to compile and put in a book for sale by Christmas, and that will be my techniques. You know, if Stanislavski can put out a book of his techniques, why can't I?
Indeed.
Okay, so there you go. So I teach in that manner because I want to pass it on, you know, and let kids understand, or whomever who chooses to become the actor, let them know really it's a tough job and it's not as easy as it looks, you know.
But I know. I remember St. George's College early years. I went into the drama club, and I was taught a few things which have stayed with me ever since. Never turn your back to the audience. Stand straight and project. You don't need to shout. And practice your lines.
Well, listen, man. When I open my little academy here in South Florida, by all means come true, brethren, because I intend to do that as well.
Oh, really? You serious?
Yeah, man.
Good, because we need it. Sharon Cummings, Deja Vu Theatre Productions. Good friend of mine. I have acted for her. Some people don't know that about me. Yes, I have done a couple of scenes from a couple of things for Deja Vu Theatre Productions. And big ups to Sharon Cummings for including me in that. But yeah, I think South Florida is in need of it. She's trying to do a little thing. It would be great if you do this academy for real. And let me tell you this, between you and I'll talk to the people that allow me to have something like this where I can broadcast and see what can be done for you, right? Because
no, I want us to be very brilliant at what we do at all times, you know. So I want my people them to be so clever at what them do, because if you don't, my thing is, if you don't speak up on your behalf, someone is always willing to.
Right.
So if you can tell your own stories, that's a plus. And I can show you how you can do that. By way of writing, by way of shedding light on it, the dialogue that you use, the sound design that you use, everything that's associated with making a film.
Yes.
Because usually, you know, Virgin, have you ever been watching a film and you know, remember it until you see a particular scene?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That happens because that scene kind of stick to your
That
mind.
one, yeah, that one stands out.
One particular scene. Can you imagine if all the film was like that one scene? What a fantastic film that would be, huh?
Yeah, exactly that.
All right. So those are the bits and pieces that the ingredients that go into making that scene indelible to you. That's what I want to do in all of the scenes in making a film. So when it hits you, you'll never forget. I'll invite you to go online. When I was much younger in Jamaica, I did a couple of films. One's called The Final Verdict that I wrote and I produced and I starred in. One's called Final Verdict. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
And the other one is called Country of the One-Eyed God. I think that's the one I did, and then when they saw that, they gave me the bad boy. They were named Priest. Yeah. But I've been trying to wear all of the hats, you know, the writer, the director, the producer, the actor, the artist, the scenic artist, you know, everything,
we didn't even
man.
talk about your paintings. Boy,
Well, I've been painting now, to be very honest, since I knew myself. When I lived in the ghetto and no paint couldn't be had, I used to use the chlorophyll bodies of the green leaf. So all of the little zinc fence them wrong in the ghetto with the little Rastaman head them and the lion and the stuff was out of green. I should have taken some pictures of those. That would be interesting. Yeah.
I hope that is a part of your book, you know.
Well, not only that is a part of my book, I have a one-man show that was written by Olivier Stevenson that I want to produce later on this year. That is also a part of it. It talks about my holding one of the first Glocks to come to Jamaica and defending my community and getting to leaving that alone and making the transition to the actor. You know, and I remember when I tell the big bad man, say, I want to become actor, he says, well, you're not going to make no money in the right about that. You know.
You have to be a part of the clique.
No, he said, you make more money on the street, my youth. Yeah, either. So I had to prove him wrong, and not to prove nobody wrong. I just had to prove something to me. That's what was most important.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And that's all of that story, making the transition, getting out of Jamaica, going to wherever I had to go, some of the stuff that I did. I also slept in the school's drama. When I went to the Jamaica School of Drama, I used to sleep in the toilet.
Really?
Yeah, because I couldn't go home. I was living down Reben Lane where there was gunshot anytime from 6 o'clock you can't go down there. And so when I was at school, I remember there was one particular night that I was involved in a play. And the play, at the very end of it, when I asked somebody at the time, it was 11:15, last bus gone.
Right.
Arthur went drive, and I said to myself, after everybody tell me how brilliant I was, and they all jumped in their cars and drove away, I stood there with that sodium orange bulb. You know them bulb with them Jamaica with a yellow light?
Yep.
That's a sodium bulb. So it was just me and with a shadow casted by the sodium bulb. I decided that night to turn back, and I went back into the school's toilet. And when I think I was the only person there, there were 3 other people sitting, lying in the bathroom.
Same situation.
Yeah, same situation. And when we saw each other during the day at school, we just gave each other that little knowing, you know, nod to each other.
Yes, that nod, yes.
I used to sleep with all of my clothes on because in here was full of mosquito. And I prefer not to have them bite me up, you know, because I was thinking to myself, boy, I can't have no donkey bite for my body if I'm a movie star.
Right.
So I go sleep with my collar all buttoned up and stuff. Yeah, man. You put up some stuff to get some stuff, you know?
That's right.
Yeah, and you've got to really persevere, man, because as you know, they're already giving us a hard time just because of the color of our skin. Can you imagine the rest of the way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in closing, Paul, young upcoming actors, word of advice, or let's do it all encompassing. Artists, word of advice.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't even touch it if I'm not really serious about it. Because if you're not serious about it, yeah, it makes no sense. I always like the fact that I'm doing something that I love.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah, that's what it should be. I mean, I remember at KC, I used to be under the tree acting the fool, and then I remember telling my friends, "You're gonna come pay to see me, nigga."
And there it is.
And then one day I'm popping out of a limo out of character and me used to look a bird. Yo, Pablo, Jano, Sharky. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, Bridget, life is like that, never your stuff. And for the young aspiring ones, or for the older aspiring ones, you have to be serious about it, Be very dedicated to the cause of becoming the actor. Just like all the doctor is dedicated to the first 7 years, the medical school and all of that. That is the same sort of seriousness with which you have to sort of approach the thing, And that's if you want to really make a difference, My thing is, even if I'm in that square with 10 million people, I must stand out.
Mm-hmm. And you are one to stand out. Indeed. You have stood out. That's why, well, if for nobody else, I know for me.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
thank you, my brother. Thank you.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you for your contribution and still contributing.
Yes, I mean, until the fat lady sings, I hear she's gone on a diet, so let's say until the wheels drop off.
Well, they're moving to hoverboards, magnets carrying things, just hovering. So I don't know.
I should do a comedy route. That is what I was known for at school, And then when I came out of the thing, I noticed that everybody, especially black folks, is always laughing when there's really nothing to laugh about.
There you go. If it comes naturally, go with it.
I thought I'd take it to the other extreme, to the other side of the. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. The seriousness, the dramatic.
Right.
Because let me tell you something, not tough like we out here, Jamaican people do everything.
It's true. It's true. Because everybody that knows Jamaicans, one of the questions they ask them is, so how many jobs you have? Because we're always doing a number of things.
The only thing is, though, we need to stop hating each other so much. So, I mean, that's the only thing that we hate each other so much.
There are a few of us that are placed in positions to influence the mindset, and unless we accept the responsibility which we've been given to influence this mindset, then some people won't be reached. I'm not saying we can reach everybody, but some people won't be reached. And I have recently, some people say it's blowing my own horn. I don't care what you want to say. I believe I was given the mandate to do certain things, and it includes influencing a certain mindset, changing and letting people recognize that we're all just that, people. We're really no different from each other. And there's a lot that we can get from just being quiet a little bit and listening.
No, man, what my fervent wish for my black people, and I'm talking about black people globally.
What's that?
Is that they can live a little. We haven't lived. We know nothing about the living, truly living. I have some white friends, and I I have a couple white friends, and I've seen how they live.
Yeah.
You know, I really would love my black people. I'm not talking about one or two kiss ass. I'm talking about majority of the black folks know what life is, can do what they can, you know, them people can do this tuition, all that shit. They can go to, what they call it, the Ivy League schools.
Right.
Become masters of their own thing instead of employees.
There you go.
That's my fervent wish for my people. You know, other than that, live, love, and laugh.
There you go. Good words to end the show on. Live, love, and laugh. Things we can look forward to. Thank you, Paul.
All right, my brother. I'm very happy that we had this talk today, so you don't see me on the road and say, "Boy, all this shit." So, you know, me, I let the cat out of the bag.
I not say that word.
So when you see me next time, I peel teeth. All right,
well, we have those pictures already. Don't worry. All right, blessings, man. Thank you, Paul. Take care.
You're more than welcome, my brother. Peace.
All right. Yes, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta get out of here way over my time. Yeah, 7 minutes and counting. Thank you, one and all. It's been real. I can't understand. Nobody asked any questions. I tell you, I don't know. You don't need to be shy with Paul. He's cool like that. But it's time for me to get out of here. I'll catch y'all later with Sean Garrity. I will do Healthy Love. Y'all take care. Blessings, peace, and love. From one troublemaker to all the rest.
Just to get my attention, I'd run away if I know your intention was trouble, trouble. You got that sexy shape with that small little waist, everything and more to put any man in trouble. You are trouble.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.